From buildings that clean the air to streets that never flood, from farms growing in the sky to entire districts run by artificial intelligence, China is not waiting for the future. It is building it right now. What you're about to see is a city so advanced, it makes the rest of the world look like it's living in the past. Liuzhou Forest City. Back in 2020, China announced a project that redefined what a city could be. Not a concrete jungle with a few parks scattered around, but an entire metropolis designed as a living forest. They called it Liuzhou Forest City, and it became a living example of how urban planning can work with nature instead of against it. Covering nearly 342 acres. This city isn't just decorated with plants, it's built around them. Every single building is covered in 40,000 trees and nearly 1 million plants. The vegetation wraps around balconies, climbs up walls, and blankets rooftops, creating a vertical forest that reaches toward the sky. But what's even more mind-blowing is what this forest does. The 40,000 trees absorb nearly 10,000 tons of CO2 every year and produce 900 tons of oxygen. That's enough to completely filter the air for 30,000 residents while dropping temperatures by several degrees. It's a reminder that in China, sustainability isn't just a buzzword, it's engineered into the very fabric of urban life. And as you'll see in the next project, they're prepared to push those limits even further. Lingang Sponge City traditional cities have a massive problem when it rains. Water floods streets, overwhelms drainage systems, and turns neighborhoods into temporary lakes. But in Lingang, a district in Shanghai, engineers solved this with an approach so brilliant, it seems obvious in hindsight. They turned the entire city into a sponge. What makes this district remarkable isn't just its flood resistance, but the integrated vision behind it. Unlike conventional cities that fight water with concrete barriers and massive drains, Lingang works with it. Porous pavements allow water to seep through naturally. Rain gardens collect and filter runoff. Constructed wetlands store excess water. And green roofs on every building absorb rainfall before it ever hits the ground. The system can absorb millions of gallons during heavy rainfall, recharge underground aquifers, and create natural habitats for wildlife, all while keeping the streets completely dry. And if that wasn't mind-blowing enough, what you'll see next takes urban agriculture to an entirely new level. Shanghai vertical farms, picture this. A 30-story building in the heart of Shanghai, but instead of office workers or apartments, every single floor is a fully operational farm producing fresh vegetables year-round. That's exactly what China unveiled with its network of vertical farm towers. The result is a production facility that can grow the same amount of food as 750 acres of traditional farmland in a footprint smaller than a city block. Despite operating in one of the world's most expensive real estate markets, these farms use 95% less water than conventional agriculture, need zero pesticides, and deliver fresh produce to local markets within hours of harvest. And this isn't the only proof. Their next achievement takes transportation infrastructure to an even larger scale. Maglev Urban Loop. When you think of solving traffic congestion, you probably imagine more roads or bigger highways. But in cities like Shanghai and Beijing, engineers used magnetic levitation technology to build something far more ambitious: an entire urban transport loop that floats above the tracks. Stretching through the city at speeds reaching 370 miles per hour, it holds the distinction of being among the fastest urban transit systems in the world. Constructed using powerful electromagnets that suspend the train with zero physical contact, the system eliminates friction entirely, allowing for speeds that make conventional trains look like they're standing still. Its sleek, futuristic design doesn't just move people efficiently, it makes the entire experience feel like traveling in the next century. And just like the Forest City, the loop was faster and far cheaper to operate than traditional subway systems. proving once again that China is decades ahead in adopting transportation technology that the rest of the world is only beginning to imagine. But as impressive as that is, what China built next is on a scale that redefines possibility itself. Hangzhou AI City Brain. What do you do when a city becomes too complex for humans to manage efficiently? Most places would hire more staff and build bigger control centers, but in Hangzhou, the answer was far more ambitious. They gave the entire city an artificial brain. The challenge came when city planners realized that traffic management, emergency response, and resource allocation had become too interconnected for traditional systems. But rather than accepting these limitations, engineers turned to technology that seemed almost science fiction. The solution? An AI system called City Brain that processes data from thousands of cameras, sensors, and connected devices across the entire metropolitan area. Together, the system analyzes over 1,000 traffic intersections in real time, automatically adjusting signals to create green corridors for emergency vehicles, predicting congestion before it forms, and even detecting accidents within seconds of occurrence. Slowly, the entire city became smarter, making decisions that would take human operators hours to coordinate happen in milliseconds. The result was nothing short of extraordinary. Traffic delays dropped by 15%, emergency response times improved by 50%, and the city gained the ability to manage itself with a level of efficiency that seemed impossible just years before. A perfect balance of preserving urban functionality while pushing forward with artificial intelligence. And if you think that's innovative, wait until you see what comes next. Daeju Solar Valley buildings are typically energy consumers, massive drains on the power grid. But in Daeju's Solar Valley district, engineers flipped that relationship completely. They created an entire neighborhood where every building is an energy producer. Rising across 3 square kilometers in northern China, this district is set to become a living demonstration of solar integration at urban scale. Instead of relying on conventional rooftop installations, they designed buildings where ultra-thin solar cells are integrated directly into windows, walls, and even decorative elements. This ensured that every surface facing the sun contributes to energy generation. To achieve this, engineers developed new materials that are both transparent enough for windows and efficient enough for power generation. The result? Buildings that don't just reduce their carbon footprint, they eliminate it entirely and send excess energy back to the grid. The district is designed with energy storage systems that ensure power availability even when the sun isn't shining. Beijing underground city construction sites above ground face constant constraints, limited space, noise complaints, and disruption to existing neighborhoods. But in Beijing, engineers came up with a surprisingly bold solution: build the city downward instead of upward. Entire commercial complexes are being constructed hundreds of feet below ground. Full-scale shopping centers, entertainment districts, restaurants, and even parks. Advanced fiber optic systems pipe natural light underground, and temperature control maintains comfort year-round. Tianjin Water Loop District. At first glance, Tianjin's eco-district looks like any modern development, but examine it a little closer, and you'll realize it holds a remarkable secret. Not a single drop of fresh water is wasted. The district operates on a closed-loop system. Every drop of water used is captured, treated, and used again. Gray water from sinks and showers is filtered and redirected to toilets and irrigation. Rainwater is harvested from rooftops, and even moisture from air conditioning is collected and repurposed. The recycling system reduces freshwater consumption by 60% compared to conventional neighborhoods. Modular housing blocks. Some construction projects break records with height or scale. The modular housing districts break them with speed. Its most striking feature is the construction method, designed to eliminate on-site building delays. Built with individual housing units prefabricated in controlled factory environments, each module arrives complete with plumbing, electrical systems, and finishes already installed. The modules are then stacked and connected on-site. These districts can house thousands of residents and be ready for occupancy in less than 2 months. Drone delivery corridors. In Shenzhen, plans are underway for one of the most ambitious logistics networks ever imagined: citywide drone delivery corridors, operating hundreds of feet above street level. Rising through designated air highways, autonomous drones navigate between distribution centers and rooftop landing pads. Their routes are managed by AI traffic control, while integrated weather monitoring provides safe passage. The system can complete deliveries in 30 minutes or less, making traditional ground delivery seem almost obsolete. So what does all this mean? It means China isn't just building cities, they're building the template for human civilization's next chapter. Forest cities that purify their own air, sponge districts that drink floods like water, vertical farms that eliminate the need for rural agriculture, and AI systems that make cities think for themselves. While the world debates what the future should look like, China is constructing it, testing it, and proving it works. These aren't experimental prototypes sitting in research labs. These are real neighborhoods where real people live their daily lives. If this is what they're building now, what comes next? Because if there's one thing we've learned, it's that China isn't slowing down, they're accelerating. And the gap between their vision and what the rest of the world considers possible keeps growing wider every single day. Let us know which of these projects amazed you most in the comments.